Hi, it's Megan. I really think it's a fun thing doing videos and talking about makeup and all that. I really don't like doing bad reviews because that's less fun and it's not as much about playing with makeup. But when I've bought something and don't like it, I kind of feel like, okay, let's go for it. So let's go for it. I got the Kat Von D Star-Studded Eyeshadow book. Comes like this. And see, I'm even scared to hold this up. I've been playing around with it, this. And I don't like doctor stuff. I don't clean up palettes before I do a video. I might clean them up after I do a video, but I definitely don't clean them up before, because if something's powdery, I want you to see that it's powdery. And I'm not a particularly messy person with makeup. I'm really careful with my brushes. But if that's what it looks like, that's what it looks like. So basically you get 24 shadows, 0.05 ounces. And if I'm blinking and my eyes look red, that's because these are really powdery shadows and I've been trying to make it look good, and some of the shadow got on my eyes. So that's why my eyes look red and I'm blinking a lot. So anyway, these are arranged in quads in the back. So these are supposed to work together. And so you have a highlight shade, and you have a crease shade, and then you have, you have a highlighter up here, not a highlighter, what do they call it? They call it, I don't know, whatever, a brow bone shade, then you have a lid shade, then you have a crease shade, and then you have an accent shade. So that would be the one on your brow bone, that would be the one on your lid, that would be the one in your crease, and that would be the accent shade. And I did 2 different eye looks. I don't usually do that for videos because it looks really dumb, but I did that just because I wanted to show you 2 of the looks, because I'm not going to be doing more videos for sure on how to use this palette. I can promise you that. So I liked, of them all, best the green, and then this one right here, which is one of the 2 neutrals. What I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you my overall thoughts on the palette, and then I'm going to go through them shade by shade. But I know some people don't like long videos, and some people do like long videos. They want to see shade by shade, so I'll do it that way, and then you can see my outdoor swatches, because I always overlay those in the beginning of the video, and then if you want to hear about the individual shades, you can after. So I don't like this palette, and I don't want to say speechless, but this was almost a little hard for me to talk about. There are so many reasons why I don't like it. So first of all, let's talk about the shadows. I had an almost impossible time getting decent swatches, and my theory is, I'm not getting paid to do this, I do 1 swipe of the finger in the shadow and 1 swipe on my wrist, and I got too often a powdery clump that really didn't blend. For a while I was thinking this reminds me of Wet n Wild shadows. I don't like those, and then I thought, no, these are actually worse than Wet n Wild shadows. And there's one that's becoming famous. Is it Gothica? This is the swatch. That's actually a better swatch than I got outside. And I did try applying all of these as instructed. I did use this as a crease shade, and I couldn't see it, but I think that might be part of what's in my eyes. I don't know. So I just don't like the texture. A couple of them I actually really like. There's this black one I really, really like. This is a really pretty shadow. I really think it's gorgeous. But contrast that with one of the 2 blues. I want to make sure my fingers are dry before I do this. Okay, so my arm wasn't dry. So if you do it wet, you can get almost a swatch. But if you do it dry, these blues are super powdery. And when I try to apply them to my lid, they're super patchy. I can't get them to apply. You can see, see how it's a big clump of powder there. And when I try to blend it, it doesn't blend very evenly. And I tried the blues a couple times, because one of them is a lid shade, and I couldn't get it to apply to my lid evenly. Okay, that gets to the next problem with these shadows. Number 1, formula. Number 2, I don't like the color combinations. That is a lid shadow. That's just too dark a lid shadow for me. This one right here is a lid shadow. And look how dark that is. It's just so hard to see the crease shade because it's actually lighter than this one, which someone explained to me makes for a beautiful smoky eye. Yes, sort of, if you can get this other shade to actually adhere, then you can get a gradation. But that's definitely a smoky eye look, and if that's what you want, then some of these are really heavy smoky eyes, whereas others, this lid shade and this lid shade, so I've got that one right there, are super light. So if you like this kind of a look with a heavy, dark, smoky eye, then yes, you will get some of that, because I personally don't wear it very often, but it is in here. It just doesn't work on me. I kind of also need a lighter shade right here to lighten it up. Then, I don't know if you can see how clumped up that is already. There is some duplication of colors here. In particular, some of the lighter shades look really very similar, some of the browns, and that actually doesn't bother me so much. My eyes literally are watering. It doesn't bother me so much because I really like the light shades, but here it did get a little duplicative. So what do I like about it? I do think that there are some really pretty colors in here. I just don't think the quality of the shadows are there. And then I also, honestly, I get the whole studded collection thing, so that's what the case looks like. I get it, but I used to love all of the drawings that Kat Von D did. That was always kind of one of the cool things about the brand for me. And am I being unfair to these shadows? No, I pulled out, I have the light palette from last year, I pulled it out, totally different experience with the shadows. They are just incredibly, so much better. Okay, so that's the overview. I don't like this palette, period, for so many reasons. And what else should I say about this before I go color by color? It's a limited edition, 24 eyeshadows, and it's designed to be striking from the inside out. And it's fused with patented formulation triple jet mill powder. Each shadow offers luxurious texture and effortless color-packed pigment in one sweep. And they're formulated with rose extract and vitamin A and C and E to keep eyelids hydrated and protected. I don't get it. Anyway, so you should see applying. Honestly, I read some bad reviews online before I opened it, and I'm like, oh, come on, how bad can it be? Some people just don't like certain brands or whatever. And it's worse than I expected. Okay, now I'm going to go through them color by color. And one thing I didn't say before was if you apply these without an eyeshadow primer, they are kind of powdery and don't really adhere very well sometimes, and they're a little patchy. Some apply a lot better than that, by the way. Some are okay. I'm just thinking of the worst of them. If you apply with an eyeshadow primer, it's almost like the primer just sucks up all the product and it's almost impossible to blend. It just kind of applies super patchy. So, first one, Solar Matte Peach with Subtle Gold Glitter. That's like this. If you can see how, it's a shade that's not going to show up very well on the swatch, but if you can see it just applied in a big kind of clump of powder, and then almost not at all where it blended in. If you can see that blended in. This is, I think, more of an orangey peachy light. I usually like this kind of shade. The next one is Nephilim Pearl Bronze, right here. And this applies super metallic, and it does apply better than most in the palette, but it is powdery. The next one is Platonic Iridescent Tangerine Gold. And this quad actually was better than many. But again, it's kind of it almost has a yellow undertone, yellow-orange. More yellow than gold, in my opinion. And it almost has a duochrome thing, but I have patches of orange standing up against yellow. That's what it looks like to me. Then, I'm feeling bad already. Mandela Matte Rusty Orange. This doesn't look so rusty to me, but it is matte. I guess a little rusty, a little reddish. I don't know, rust to me connotates a little bit more brown than that. This seems almost like and you can see there's like dots in it. It's just like powdery. Then we go to Damned Matte Nude Cream right here. And this again is more orange, or yellow than kind of a nude cream to me. It looks a little bit more yellowish. This whole palette is obviously a little bit more warm, well, not completely warm toned, but some of these browns are more warm toned. Then Division Pearl Gray Green. Oh, these are albums. Ooh. It's a really cool color, but again, it applies with these patchy chunks, and it has definitely that green undertone, which could be really, oh God, do you see how it just like powders? It's like falling all over my chair. It is a gray green. I'm sorry to get distracted. Very metallic. The next one is Depeche. So Shimmer Dark Bronze right here. And you can see, again, a little bit more metallic. This again applies a little bit better than some of the others. It doesn't clump up. It's not as patchy. Then Brass Knuckles is Shimmer Yellow Gold. And it's okay. It's more yellow than gold. It's metallic, a little patchy. Not as great an application as some of the other metallics. Okay, I'm going to move through this quickly. Sorry. Then Anti-Star, Shimmer White Snow, right there. It's just, I can't even hold my wrist up. It's just really patchy. This is a super metallic white. It has a little bit of a warmer undertone than you'd expect. Almost like a little yellow to it when I put it on. Maybe it's my skin. Okay, this does not work as a lid shade for me at all. If you want a really dark look, I guess this is just a really smoky, dark brown thing. It just doesn't work for me though. It's just too dark. Estrella, it's called Pearl Ocean Blue. And I see how that applies, and then you see how it blends. Not my cup of tea. And then I do like the next one. I told you this black. Black Star, matte black with iridescent glitter. Kind of a copy of what Urban Decay's been doing, I guess. And this one's actually a pretty shade. So I really like this one. Very, very pretty. This I actually would be able to put on my lid for a smoky eye look because it applies beautifully and it has this, like, you can see the glitter in it, but it doesn't look like huge chunks of glitter. And I don't get a lot of fallout with that one shade, so I really like that one shade. Just one. Then Star Flyer Royal Matte Blue, and this again it feels a little bit like Urban Decay Chaos. Oh, that actually applied. Well, I did it twice. You can see there it was really streaky. Here it just, when you put a ton of it on, then it applies evenly, but then you get all those chunks of the little powdery chunks. They really are chunks. It's not just powder, it's like chunks of powder. Then I have Banshee Matte Ballerina Pink right here. Again, you can see how it swatches. I don't try to blend these. I just, it's like, oh my god, I'm gonna have to vacuum my chair. I told you this was not going to be a particularly positive review. Violator Iridescent Lavender. Right there. There it is. And it's a very cool toned. It's almost got like a more pink lavender than pure lavender. Then, oh, this is the one that everyone loves. Gothica Iridescent Purple. Okay. That's your swatch. And this goes in the crease. Didn't work very well for me. Fascination Street Matte Indigo. And that's my swatch. Patchy, powdery. But it is a pretty color. I don't think it's indigo though. I think it's really like a classic purple. It's a pretty color. Then the last one. So this I have on this eye right here. And then I have the green on the next one. So we have Moz Matte Peachy Pink. Which doesn't make sense given the other shades are kind of coppery, but it actually doesn't look peachy pink to me. It looks peachy. Maybe a little too peachy. I would have liked it to be a little bit more bone. Then the next one, Heaven Knows, Pearl Cool Taupe. And this is an okay shade actually. This is just one of those, it's a little patchy in application, but I was able to smooth this one because it's so light that if it kind of bunched up a little bit, it was easier to spread it and blend it out. The next one, Miss Pearl Copper Brown right here. Very patchy, but it's a pretty color. And it is definitely kind of, I like the way this one has almost a duochrome, but I can't tell if it's because there's like clumps of powder on top of the, I guess you do get a lot of product when you try to swatch it. Then Leather, Matte Chocolate Brown with Subtle Glitter right here. And by the way, no, I don't like my eye looks that much. I really did struggle it, and then I was going to redo it, and I had stuff in my eyes, and like, that's it. I'm just going to leave it the way it is and take it off after. Because I did struggle with these little, there's like stuff everywhere. That's a warmer toned matte brown with iridescent glitter, and it's actually a pretty color. Then Crosses, Matte Nude with iridescent glitter. This one almost doesn't apply. It comes like in a clump on my finger, but then when I put it on, it almost doesn't adhere to my skin. But it is a nude. It's a warmer nude. And you can see I've got that up here. So I followed the instructions with the colors here exactly as instructed. I don't agree with the instructions. So I'm sorry. I just stuck my finger in one. Covenant Pearl Mocha Brown right there. And this looks more like a green, olive green to me than a mocha brown. That's what it says. Then Craft Pearl Forest Green with iridescent glitter. And so this is supposed to be the crease. So the lid color is darker than the crease color, in my opinion. This is really patchy in application with little chunks of glitter and powder. And it's a forest green. I would agree with that. Pearl Forest Green with iridescent glitter. I would agree with that. Cult Shimmer Lime Green. Right there. And this is the last one. And this is, it's like almost a duochrome with that kind of chartreuse undertone. And then, what did they call it? Lime. Yeah, it's lime and chartreuse kind of mixed together. So after swatching it one more time, this is my palette, and if you've seen other videos, my palettes don't normally look like that. So, okay, no, I don't like it. We're going to end the review. If anyone has comments, I would love to hear if someone disagrees with me. I mean, the colors, I will give them that they are very pretty colors. But if someone disagrees with me, I would love to hear why. If someone hasn't and agrees, I would love to hear why as well. And we're just going to end this video. Please subscribe on YouTube. Thank you very much.